Hi everyone, my name is Tim Smith, and on this channel we talk about technology, movie reviews, and today, coffee. Yes, today we're gonna be talking about coffee, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be doing this video. I've been waiting to do this video for a long time, and yeah, I've been working on this video for a while, and I don't know why I'm telling you that. You don't need to know this stuff. Today we're gonna be talking about how to brew coffee with a Chemex. My Chemex is one of my prized possessions, and it's most often used on the weekends when Kelly and I are here together at home, and where you don't have to be like rushing out to get to work and stuff. Let's talk about first what you need and how to brew in the Chemex. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of different things today, so if you wanna know what all these things are, there's a link in the description to my kit that is all about coffee. So you can find all those links over there. The first thing you'll need is coffee. Now, I don't recommend any of like the store-bought pre-ground coffee. I recommend you go out and find a roaster that makes coffee that you enjoy. That can be very difficult to do when you're first starting out though. So what I recommend that you do is you get a coffee subscription. Now, I'm not being sponsored by Blue Bottle at all, but they are the ones that I recommend because I have a Blue Bottle subscription. Which, you know, it kind of reminds me they probably should be sponsoring this video, but they are not. They are not sponsoring this video. Blue Bottle is one of my favorites because you can pick between a few different of their subscription types. You can pick the amount of coffee that you want, as well as the fact that they have a single origin subscription, which is really nice. It's not a blend, it's from one place. And they always like send you a little card with all the notes for the flavors and where that coffee comes from. It's really nice. And depending on how much you want, you can get it, you know, every week or every 2 weeks or, you know, whatever amount of time fits best for you. I have my coffee in this Airscape container, which is amazing. I definitely recommend that you get one if you're going to have beans, because beans do go bad. I mean, they're not fresh forever, right? So you want to make sure that your beans are fresh, and this Airscape container does an excellent job of pushing all the air out of the beans so that your beans stay fresh for longer. I would say that beans only stay fresh for about maybe 3 months in an Airscape an Airscape container like this. However, if you freeze it, some people say that you can get like 6 months or a year out of your beans. I've never tried that, so I don't know. The next thing you'll need is a grinder. Now, you don't need an electric grinder like I do. I also have one of those hand grinders, which is great, and I use that for when we go out of town or when we go camping. I just take my hand grinder with me to make coffee. I have this electronic grinder from Breville. It's really good. I just bought it a few months ago. Before that, I had another one. But the big thing is that you have a burr grinder. That is an important piece of this puzzle. You do not want a blade grinder because the beans will not come out ground consistently. And the best way to a great cup of coffee that is consistent is also a consistent grind. So you want to make sure that you have a burr grinder, whether it's an electronic or whether it's manual. That's fine. It's up to you which one you want to use, but definitely go with a burr grinder. This is one of those items that you can get, but you don't have to get. Again, you know, there are a few items like that on this list, but the next one is a scale. A scale allows you to measure your recipes perfectly, and that is really important if you want a consistent cup of coffee. For many years, I did it with just a scoop, and you know, I made it work. And you know, the coffee wasn't bad, but it wasn't consistent. It didn't taste the same. It didn't taste the same every single time, and that's what a scale gets you. So if you want to have a consistent cup of coffee, you definitely want a scale. And I have this one by Vario. It's really nice. It's got a timer and then just a scale where you can tare. You know, it's a normal scale. Another thing you're gonna want is a kettle. You can get a kettle that is not electric. I happen to have an electric kettle just because I like to be able to control at what temperature the water is. I usually set my kettle to 204 degrees. There is an association. There's like there's some organization of coffee that tells you, you know, what your temperature should be for your water. In the past, I've had a kettle just that goes on the stove, and that's completely fine too, except it's not as precise. That's basically what it comes down to. So what I used to do is that I would boil it, and then after it would boil, I would let it cool down for about 2 minutes, and then, it's kind of sort of in the temperature range for coffee. So that works as well. The next thing you're going to want is a Chemex. Now, they sell the Chemex in a different range of styles and sizes. Mine is the 8-cup Chemex, I believe. So it's up to you which one you want to get. The particular recipe that we're going to be doing in this video requires an 8-cup Chemex, I believe. You also need a filter for the Chemex, and I prefer the stainless steel filter, but they also sell paper filters for the Chemex, so you decide which one you want to use. And lastly, you'll need a great mug. I feel that the last thing that makes the whole coffee experience great is the mug that it's in. I happen to have this wonderful Star Wars Porg mug, and I'll link to that in my kit as well. So now let's do the recipe. So here's what you want to do. Number 1, start heating your water or set your kettle to 204 degrees. The next thing you want to do is measure 52 grams of coffee into your grinder cup. Now, make sure that once you've put your grinder cup on the scale, that you tare it so that you're at 0, so that you actually only measure how much coffee there is in the cup. After you've measured 52 grams of coffee, you pour that into your grinder. An important thing to note is that you want a medium-sized grind. Unfortunately, they don't make like a universal setting on these grinders for some reason, like what is, medium. My particular grinder has a label that says, this is for drip coffee. If your grinder has that label, then that's the one that you want to use. If not, may the force be with you. After that, you're going to grind your beans. Now you put your Chemex on your scale and make sure to tare it. And also put the filter in and make sure to tare it when you have the Chemex and the filter inside. You are going to put the coffee into the filter, and after you've put the coffee into the filter, you want to grab it and level it so that there's, equal amounts of coffee around the filter. Once your water is done, you want to pour 100 grams of coffee into the Chemex, mostly just to cover the ground beans. And we're going to let it bloom. If you don't know what bloom is, I definitely recommend you research it. Basically, it means to let the coffee expel, start getting happy and expel its flavors. After you've let it bloom for about 30 seconds, then you pour the rest of the 700 grams of water in total that you're going to pour. So after you've poured 100 grams, you're only going to pour 600 more grams. So you should end up at 700 grams. Remember to tare your scale after you've put in your coffee, or else you're gonna have to go to 752 grams of water. So make sure to tare your scale so that you're starting at 0 every time. The way that I pour is that I do kind of a circular motion, and then once all the beans are covered, I just go through the center. In terms of speed, what I normally do is that I pour at about the same speed that the water, that the coffee is dripping down into the Chemex. Once you've done that, you're ready. You take the filter out and you pour your cup of coffee. If you use cream or sugar, great. If you don't, that's also great. I happen to use cream and sugar, but again, if you don't believe in that, that's completely fine. To each their own. And that's how I brew coffee with the Chemex. Thank you so much for watching. Before I go, I do want to announce that we have a winner for the coffee subscription that I talked about last month. Remember, I'm kind of on a 1 video a month type of schedule. So this is the video for March. I'll probably have 2 more videos this month, but I've only committed to 1 a month. I just to set, the standard, keep everyone's expectations. I like to, under promise and over deliver type of thing. But yeah, we have a winner for the coffee subscription. The winner is Justin Jackson. Thank you so much, all of you who commented on that video. And Justin Jackson, I'll be in touch with you to give you your coffee subscription. I want to thank Justin because he's been a loyal supporter of mine for a long time, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I think that's it for today. I hope you have an excellent rest of your day, and I hope you make some amazing coffee with this recipe. And if you do, let me know. I would love to hear about it. Till next time, have an amazing day. Bye.